Of course, you can mute yourself and then never unmute during the service, which is fine. Also, our friend Blake will be monitoring. However, so if you're having side conversations and you're unmuted, then we will mute you. But yeah, let's see how this experiment goes, and we will take it from there. So welcome everyone to First Unitarian Church of Honolulu. I'm Reverend TJ Fitzgerald. I'm the minister here, which is such an honor. And my pronouns are he and him. And this is the time together of announcements when we talk about what's going on here at the church. So first, coming up next week, we will have a special service for National Coming Out Day with Isaac. Isaac is a well-known, renowned performer here in Honolulu. Again, so maybe we'll need to mute folks. I'm not sure. Okay. Isaac is a renowned performer here in Honolulu, and he is going to share some of his music, live music, and some reflections on his experiences of coming out for National Coming Out Day and things like that. So we're really looking forward to that next Sunday, and it's actually a full Sunday because then as a welcoming congregation by the Unitarian Universalist Association, our community commits every year to a number of renewal practices to ensure that we send a clear message that our doors are open to people of all sexual orientations and identities. So one of our practices is to hold a welcoming congregation learning module. And this year, we're fortunate to have the talented Thaddeus Pham of the Hawaii Department of Health and Harm Reduction Services branch, which is HRSB. And he is going to be with us by Zoom on October 10th at 11:20, so 20 minutes after we are done with service or so, maybe 5-10 minutes. We're going to watch Treasure from Tragedy to Trans Justice, Mapping a Detroit Story. We're going to watch it together as a community, and then Thaddeus will lead us in a guided discussion. So please come. This is right after worship next Sunday on the 10th. Your attendance is important to maintain our status as a welcoming congregation. So we are looking forward to seeing you all there. On Tuesday, we have a weekly Pauhana, and Pauhana is when we get together to talk about some of the things that are going on in our community, or to be entertained, or to learn more about things. And this week, we are hoping, it's getting really close, to have representatives from our sibling congregation in the Philippines that we represent, that we try to support throughout the year, to be with us to talk more about what exactly they are doing, the needs and the things they are facing there in the Philippines. And I think it's going to work out. If not, we're going to figure something else out. So tune in Tuesday. Also today, as you may notice, I'm wearing my collar. This is in honor of all of the many animals that will be coming by between 11 and 1 who will also be wearing collars for our annual pet blessing here in the church. Specifically in the portico share or the breezeway, whatever you call it. I figured it's only fair. If they're putting on collars, I shall too. So please come between 11 and 1 here into the church. Just drive right through. We'll bless your animals. And as it turns out, and I know this is going to sound pretty a little, I don't know what it's going to sound like, but it just so happened that yesterday I finally got my first shipment of the physical print version of my book that came out recently. So the print edition is done. If you were thinking you'd like a copy signed by yours truly or something like that, and you're here anyway for the pet blessing or person blessing, whoever you want me to bless is fine, you can also get a signed copy of the book for just the bargain price of 5 cents more than you'd pay on Amazon. On Amazon, it's $19.95, but you can have it for $20. So it's a real steal for everyone. But yeah, and I'll sign it and everything. So come by for a blessing, come by for a book, whatever it is you'd like to do. We're going to have a jaunty old time. There will be a professional photographer here also documenting all of our pet blessings, and we're going to have a nice album and sort of video for everyone to see. So it's going to be a wonderful time. I hope you'll come. And with that, today's service, just so you know, is a little different. It's more of a service for all ages. So you might notice some pieces are a little bit like you don't quite remember, but you know what? You might not even miss those pieces, but we'll find out. So now let's prepare our hearts, our minds, and our bodies to worship together again once more. And now to welcome us in the spirit of aloha, Miss Marie.
Good morning. And I just decided that who else should say good morning but Leah? She's, of course, here to be blessed and to see all of you who come by. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu. This morning, we, as you've heard, are going to have a very special service. It's our 5th year of the Animal Blessings. We're looking forward to meeting you and your favorite animal. Hold on. After a shorter service of song and story, we'll have our drive-through blessings from 11 to 1. Everybody is welcome. Our 7th principle is respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are all a part. And as Gary Kowalski, the Unitarian minister in Taos, New Mexico, and author of The Soul of Animals says, animals, like us, are living souls. They are not things. They are not objects. Neither are they human, yet they mourn. They love, they dance, they suffer, they know the peaks and chasms of being. Welcome to all of our visitors today. We truly hope you return again. We hope that you consider becoming a part of our UU family. Wherever in the world you are Zooming and or Facebooking in, we extend a special aloha to all of you. We hope you enjoy your morning with us. Now, please join me in saying the words as we light our chalice this morning. Also, please join me in doing the hand gestures with me. You can hold your chalice right here in your hands. This is the Church of the Open Mind. This is the Church of the Helping Hands. This is the Church of the Loving Heart. Together, we care about all the earth and work friendship and peace in our world.
Thank you, Marie. Now we're going to sing a special song. Some of you have been hearing it for a few weeks. This is a song about our mission here together, and we're hoping people of all ages will start to know this song. So let's sing our mission song together. We boldly grow from fertile ground, compassion where our hearts are bound, justice that affirms all worth, and joy that spreads to all the earth. Ah, Mama. Okay, thank you so much. Now, I have a question for folks. Who knows what a story is? Anyone want to share what they think a story is, or any young people? You can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and tell me. All right. Chatty crowd. I like it. Well, a story is something, has many attributes, but it's something that gets passed on from one generation to another, and it helps us to understand things about our lives. Stories mean something to all of us. And so we tell stories, we listen to stories, we read stories, and we even write stories, and sometimes we sing stories. So how long do you think people have been telling stories around campfires or to one another? Any guesses?
Thousands of years.
Thousands, sure. maybe as long as there have been humans, I'm guessing. So a really long time. And so what is the thing we hear at the beginning of stories about that were way in the past, that took place a long time before? How do we start?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time is good. That's another one. There's a famous story that takes place in another galaxy far, far away. How does that story begin? I think it's a long time ago, right?
A long time ago.
And so now, in order for us to hear one of our first stories for today, Miss Marie is going to make a special sound with our wonderful sacred bell here to transport us to one of the earliest times for all humans. Oh, and the storm clouds are gathering, friends. Do you hear that rain and thunder? That's right. This is a song or a story that my family sang a lot when I was growing up, and it helped reminds me of how important certain animals are to us and how we can all learn stories in all different ways. A long time ago, when the earth was green, there were more kinds of animals than you have ever seen. And they'd run around free while the earth was being born. But the loveliest of all was the unicorn. Well, there were green alligators, and there were long-necked geese. There were humpty-back camels, and there were chimpanzees. There were cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. Oh, it's getting rainy out here. See, God seed some sinning, and it gave him pain. And he says, now stand back, I'm gonna make it rain. He says, hey, brother Noah, I tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo, not like the one in Waikiki, and make those green alligators and long-necked geese. Get those humpty-back camels and get those chimpanzees. Get some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorn. That's right. Now, old Noah was there to answer the call. And he just finished up the ark just as the rain started falling, and he marched in those animals 2 by 2. And he called out as they went through, hey Lord, I got your green alligators and long-necked geese. I got your humpty-back camels and those swinging chimpanzees. I got those cats and those rats and those elephants. But Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't find no unicorn. So Noah looked out through the driving rain, but those unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, kicking and splashing, just as the rain started falling. Oh, them silly unicorns. Yeah, there were green alligators and long-necked geese. There were those humpty-back camels and those chimpanzees. There were cats and rats and elephants. But you, Joel, I'm so forlorn, you just couldn't see no unicorn. Now the ark started moving, and it drifted with the tide. And those unicorns looked up from the rocks, and they cried. And the waters came down and sort of floated them away. And that's why you'll never see a unicorn to this very day. Now you'll see green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees. You'll see cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn. That's right. It's a very sacred piece of poetry here. It was made famous by the Irish Rovers, sung famously in my house many, 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 many times. And yeah, it's a good question. Matt Geyer's asking whether animals tell stories to one another. I think they probably tell stories about where food can be found. I'm guessing they figured that one out. So we heard about a special animal in this, the special animal, the unicorn that many think about. When I was young, or sort of reading a lot, I remember reading an article about a woman who was at a party, and they were talking about extinct animals, and they were talking about different animals that had like come and gone and things like that, and she said, well, then of course the unicorn, and everybody laughed. But she wasn't laughing. She really thought that unicorns lived, and maybe they did. But she got sort of laughed out of the room and remembered feeling that she had either been kind of let down for the way she was taught or let down by her colleagues, but she couldn't really figure out which one. But either way, unicorns and other animals are very special to us. But the question is, are these the only special animals? I mean, this isn't the only song about animals. This isn't the only way we think about animals. What do we call some of the special animals in our lives? Anyone have any animals that they love? We met Leia already today.
Chalupa, Hey Hey, and Fritzy.
Ah, Hey, that's right. Luna, Hey, and Fritzy. That's nice. There's some fun names for our animals. Yeah. And Kiki. Oh, that's right. Good old fancy Kiki. Their beautiful portrait. Thank you.
And Lucy.
And Lucy. Bunny, a stuffed animal. Good. See, we have all kinds of names for our ways of referring to our animals. We love them very much. So it's important to take care of our animals. And one of the best ways to do this is to take care of what? This place where all the animals live, here in our world, here on the earth. In our chalice lighting, we talked about caring for all the earth and gathering together all of these ways of caring for the earth. And that's where everyone lives. And one of the ways we care for more than just ourselves, more than just the people around us, that we care for other special people in our lives around the world, is by sharing what we have. And that we call giving an offering, or sharing our generosity. This month, we're going to share what we have with a group of friends that we've had for a very long time. We're going to share with our sibling, which means brother or sister or other kind of related person, our sibling church in Kaikan, Philippines. Here's a picture of the church that we support in the Philippines. And we're hoping to speak more with our friends in the Philippines on Tuesday. But until then, we're going to collect some money now to gather together this month to send to them so that they can care for the children in their school, where you have to pay certain costs and expenses in order to go to school. So one of the ways you can give is by sending a check here to the church. You can just fill it out and send it as Share the Plate, or for the Kaikan Church, right here at 2500 Pali Highway. You can also use your smartphone and this QR code to scan, which will take you to a secure giving page on our website. Your parents will know how to do this if you don't know how to do it. Or you can simply text this 10-digit number, an amount, and the word share, and then you'll be prompted the first time to set up a profile for giving, and then after that, you'll be able to do whatever you want to do. And it's very simple to give every time this way once we do. So we'll leave that up for a little bit. Hopefully you got all the information you need, because now Miss Marie has a very special story to tell us.
This story is special. This is about Honey Girl, a Hawaiian monk seal. In Hawaii, anyone who spots a Hawaiian monk seal feels lucky. These marine mammals are endangered, and most live far away by islands without people. But one Hawaiian monk seal named Honey Girl is often seen around the north shore of Oahu. Honey Girl is a local favorite. She's called Supermom because by the age of 15, she had raised 7 pups. Yet soon after Honey Girl weaned her 7th pup, she ran into trouble. It was a warm November day when kite surfers reported seeing a monk seal covered in green algae. It was floating in the ocean. Why wasn't it moving? Marine mammal experts arrived, but the monk seal was gone. Perhaps it had been caught in a fishing line and then freed itself. A search began, and the animal was found. The tag on its back flipper was marked R5AY. Oh, it was Honey Girl, but the scientists couldn't help her until she came out of the water. Honey Girl dragged herself onto the beach. Terribly thin, she lay limp on the sand. An ulu fish hook was caught in her cheek. Her tongue was caught by a fishing line and had gotten infected. She hadn't been able to catch or swallow food for weeks. Unable to eat, she would soon starve. Could she be saved? The scientists surrounded her. Honey Girl raised her head as if to bark, but she couldn't make a sound. The people gently lifted her into a crate in the back of a truck. They drove her across the island to Waikiki Aquarium. The first step was to remove the fish hook from Honey Girl's cheek. For 2 days, she received round-the-clock care. But Honey Girl needed even more help. Her tongue had been injured from the fishing line wrapped around it. Again, she was loaded into a crate. At the Honolulu Zoo, veterinarians performed the first known operation on the tongue of a Hawaiian monk seal. They were pleased that half of her tongue was saved. At first, she couldn't swallow her usual food of fish, squid, octopus, eel, crabs, shrimp, or lobsters. So Honey Girl was fed a seal shake of ground up herring and water through a tube. But on her own, Honey Girl wouldn't eat small frozen herring tossed into her pool. The scientists were worried she wouldn't be able to eat fish. If she couldn't eat fish, she couldn't return to the ocean. On Thanksgiving Day, Honey Girl caught and ate live tilapia. Honey Girl was perking up. 13 days after her rescue, the scientists decided that she could go home. Yay! In the early morning sunshine, well-wishers gathered to welcome Honey Girl to Turtle Bay, just north of where she had been found on Sunset Beach. She hadn't regained any weight, but she was much improved. Everyone quietly watched as Honey Girl scooted out of the crate and across the sand. She rested on the shore next to the foamy water. Finally, she dove into the waves. Honey Girl was like a dog running in the rough seas, which is the meaning of the Hawaiian name for monk seals. Over the next month, a tracking device attached to Honey Girl's back showed where she swam. The scientists were pleased to learn that she traveled from shore and back again. She was hunting for food. Many times she was seen resting on the beaches, and fortunately, she didn't suffer any more run-ins with fishing gear. Scientists still wondered if she was gaining enough weight. A few weeks after she had been released, they caught her again. She was examined. They were relieved to see she was indeed heavier, and her tongue was healing without an infection. Honey Girl grew rounder and her coat sleek and silver. And then the best news of all, Honey Girl was pregnant again. No one had been sure if she could eat enough for herself and a pup after being injured so seriously. But she did. The islanders celebrated Honey Girl's birth of Melly, the first Hawaiian monk seal pup of the new year. And as if to welcome a new sister, two of Honey Girl's other daughters, La'akea and Kaikaina, joined Melly and their mother on Turtle Beach. For about 6 weeks, Honey Girl, just like all Hawaiian monk seal mothers, stayed on the beach with Melly and protected her. Melly nuzzled up to her mom, and Honey Girl snuggled Melly as they rolled in the sand. Day and night, volunteers prevented curious onlookers and their dogs from getting too close. If frightened, Honey Girl might have hurt someone while trying to protect her pup. Without returning to the sea for food while nursing Melly, Honey Girl lost about half of her body weight. Honey Girl weaned her. It was time for Melly to learn to hunt for herself. Now, Honey Girl could return to the ocean to feed. The thin, exhausted Honey Girl inched across the sand. She paused in the rough waves, and she pushed herself into the water and gracefully swam away. The very next year, Honey Girl gave birth to yet another pup, and later that same year, Honey Girl became a grandmother for the first known time. Her daughter, Ua Mailie, had a pup named Holokai. Hopefully, in the years to come, many more Hawaiian monk seals will be spotted off the islands of Hawaii. Meanwhile, Honey Girl is helping her endangered species by giving birth to healthy pups that can have more pups. Mahalo. Thank you to Honey Girl, the supermom Hawaiian monk seal.
Thank you so much, Marie. What a wonderful story. Wow, Honey Girl was really sick, but she got a lot better. And it's really beautiful to hear that both Honey Girl was both a mom and then her daughter had a baby, which made her a what? A tutu, a grandmother. Okay, great. And so now, in order to honor our grandparents in other ways, we're going to sing a song that a grandson sings to his grandmother in a movie we're all going to watch together later this month. Don't worry, we'll make the announcements when it's time, but we're going to sing this song all month. So I thought it would be fun to sing it together. It's from a movie called Coco, and it's called Remember Me. So listen close. Remember me. Though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night when we're apart. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, know that I'm with you, the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me. Yeah. So we're remembering people, especially in this time, which we call our Book of Life. It's when we open this book on our congregation into its joys and its sorrows. If you have a joy or a concern, you can put it in the chat box coming up here. You can always send it to me by email or give me a call or let me know what's going on. So first I want to share a really fun joy. I didn't give Dennis a heads up about this, but we're about to do a little song here because it is Al Rowland's 95th birthday today. So we're going to sing a little song. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Al. We chose a tenor key. Happy birthday to you. Happy. Yeah, I'm on it, man. Yeah, Richard just can't help himself. Evelyn Lipowitz also wanted us to know, though she's traveling and can't be with us, it's also her birthday today, and she's honored to share it with someone so wonderful as Al. So thank you, Evelyn, for the note. If you have any other joys that you'd like to share, you can put them in the chat box now. You or else share them with those around you, or else as my hand passes over the congregation, you can hold it in your heart, and we will know where to find it. There's a lot of postseason excitement about baseball happening and some football excitement. Go Bills. But we want to now also go a little deeper into our time together and acknowledge those pains and those deep concerns that some of us are having at these times. I know many people marched yesterday all around the country for their rights to have a say in their own medical care, in their own bodies. And also, we do have a specific concern here with our congregation. Jackie Burke shares that her close friend's only daughter and mother of 4 passed away. Kami Kemealoha Kanoa Wang died on September 27th. She has children from 1.5 years old all the way up to 16 years old, 4 children. The Vai Collective over at UH Manoa is doing an auction for her on October 9th. And so hopefully we'll get more information about that, and we'll put it in the weekly bulletin for you to be aware. So Jackie and all of Cammie's family, we're holding you in our hearts. Also, there are probably other concerns that people have, so I invite you at this time to speak those concerns, perhaps into the world around you, into the space where you are. Put it into the chat box here, or else hold it close to your heart, and as my hand passes over the congregation, we will know where to find it. The joys we know in life, the pains we also feel mingle together to write this book of each one of our lives, this book of our community, this book of this world, this universe that we know. We hope that, as always, the universe will bend not only toward justice for all of us, but for joy. May it ever be so. Blessed be, and amen. Will you please join me now in the spirit of meditation, contemplation, or prayer? We enter this time of mystery, this time of quiet, in this month when we will start to look at the idea of prayer. And today we keep our prayers very simple. We draw into our minds those things we're grateful for, the ways we say thank you. We let them swirl in our heart, in our body, maybe images of people that are coming up, maybe the animals we love, other things that we care for. We hold them together and we simply say, thank you. Now we take a moment and we look forward. We think about what might be best for those we love, what we might hope for a hurting world. about all the things we hope to see in this world and perhaps the next, if that is how we believe. We hope for these things in our heart. We perhaps see them with our spiritual eye. We hold them together and we simply say, please, please. And remember, sometimes when we are having a day, we're having a week, when our life is hard, the purest, perhaps the most simple prayers we know we probably learned as children. Thank you, and please. May it ever be so. Blessed be, and amen. Let's just share a period of silence now as we remember those folks we try to remember, and we think about the future that's yet to be. Now I invite you out of this time of silence to contemplate the peace that can be in a land that we share, that we inhabit in different ways, perhaps as settlers, as visitors, and as people whose land this was once theirs, and perhaps maybe again someday. And we'll sing our song of peace, Hawaii, Aloha. Hawaii e kuone hana e kuhome kulai vine oli noa ina pono lani o e Hawaii aloha. Hawaii ne oli e maina he a he makani a pa mai ne mau ke aloha no Hawaii ne oli e maina he a he makani a pa mai ne mau ke aloha no mau ke aloha no Hawaii. Our worship is now ended. Our service now begins. Go in peace, practice love, blessed be, I love you, and aloha. We already have animals running around, non-human animals running around. I hope we'll see as many of you as we can between 11 and 1 here at the church, here in the our portico share. So many blessings on this glorious day. You should be able to unmute yourselves, and we're going to turn off any spotlighting or anything like that, so people can go into grid view. And wonderful.